Hi there. In this video, I will talk about one interesting feature about Perl, which is the flip-flop operator. Consider the fact that I want to process some file. Let's assume that I want to process a file in here. Let's say I have a log, which is based on some of these SSH attack that I had on my system. I just captured the logs just for experimentation purpose here. It's got a lot of lines. This is one of my Linux machine log. When I open up the SSH port, there have been a lot of SSH attacks. But anyways, what I want to do is that I want to see a log records for a particular time tenure. Maybe if I want to see a log record for a particular date, I can look it up in here. Let's say I could say Perl minus NE using Perl, right? I could just use print if I'm looking for logs on January, right? Maybe January 1st, let's say 1st of January this year, I could just say start with Jan 01, just an example, and then provide the log file. Oh, I hope, okay, I think it's SSD minimal.log, sorry. Looks like there is no logs recorded on Jan 1. Maybe let's look at December 30. Yeah. These are all the logs recorded on the date December 30. You can see a whole lot of lines being listed in here. But maybe if you want to look for December 32, Jan 30, right? So maybe let's look at January 30 here. Let's check if there's a record for 30th of Jan. No. Let's try maybe 28th of Jan. Looks like it's not there, but never mind. I can just let me just look up in there are blanks in the log where certain dates there were no events. So that's the reason why not all dates are recorded. But nevertheless, if I just look up this file, we have it for December 29, December 30, there's Jan 8, Jan 24, right? And then there is February 8. Now let us say I want to get record events that have occurred from December 30 till Jan 24, right? So how do I do that? Well, this is where you can use the flip-flop operator. You can directly say print if starting with December 30 to this double dot is going to create that range that can be used in flip-flop, right? And say start with Jan 24. It'll give you all records between the start point, which is December 30, till the end point, till it encounters Jan 24. Yes, you can get this. You can see January 24, January 08. You'll find December 30, right? Let me give you a more simpler example. Let us assume that I run a command, let's say cat.a.txt. There are a lot of lines in here. I want to print all the lines between line 5 to line 12. Let's say line 5 to line 12. Normally, if I want to do that, I can count the number of lines, but I'm looking based on the pattern. The moment I see this particular pattern, I want to start printing all the lines till I encounter this particular pattern. So in order to do that, you could actually say Perl minus NE. I guess the minus and switch will basically put a filter, basically a while blank angular bracket, and try to process things. So when I say Perl minus NE, and I'm just going to use print if, I'll just put a /. That's a regular expression. Start, when I say start from line 5, the moment you encounter line 5, that line ends with that line 5. If I just put it this way, it's just going to print, it's going to print only that line 5. But I want to print between line 5 to line 12. So to do that, I could say dot line 12. You can see the excerpt. This is a quite useful feature. Consider the fact that you have certain logs which are not in line record, your multi-line record logs. The multi-line record dot has some kind of a start marker and an end marker for a particular pattern, right? A start marker, end marker. I want to get extraction between the start marker, end marker. I could actually use the same technique. So this is quite useful, right? So this is what a flip-flop operator is all about. Yeah, I just showed you a one-liner, but maybe if you want to put it in your Perl script, it's not very difficult. I'll just call this flip-flop example.pl. And yeah. Just going to use user env Perl, the boilerplate, the Perl shell scripts, the script signature boilerplate. And then I'm going to use the Angular bracket like this. And as usual, you can just say if, whatever pattern you're looking for. Maybe you can just say line 5 to line 10. And I could just say print. You can put this in a one-liner, but I'm just trying to show you the elaborate code. Maybe you want to print more details. You can also print, and you can also say processing $_ just to show you that the line is being processed and print. You can do anything that you want here. And convert this to executable. Add the execute permission, not convert. Add execute permissions to this script. And then as usual, if I just run flip-flop example.pl, it's not going to repeat any of these lines when you type. So the moment you put the start marker, which is line 5, it starts processing every line that you type. It doesn't matter what line, until you have an end marker, which is line 10. Starts processing it. Right? So if in fact when you try to use this flip-flop example and a.txt, prints between line 5 to line 10. I hope you found this video useful, where I showed you how you can use the flip-flop operator, like in the syntax, or writing it in a script. So the script version, let me just show it across. It's pretty straightforward. Hope you found this concept useful when you're working on Perl. And yes, even if you don't use Perl, there's a one-liner. If you're on a command line, you can still use this one-liner to supplant certain, features that are lacking on shell. Thank you very much. Hope to meet you on future videos. Thank you very much.